Haven't you heard? There's a strange wanderer near Wolfendom.
Which should I choose? Today's recommendation is the steak.
There's no need to exchange pleasantries.
Haven't you heard?
It's rather pathetic
There's
to force a
strange wanderer near
conversation
Wolfendom.
just to occupy silence.
Today's recommendation is I'll host an expedition of the Adventurers Guild.
Haven't you heard? There's a strange wanderer near Wolfendom.
Squall and Fury!
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the...
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great... This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit...
Oh, so what? For the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been...
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard...
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Su...
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at...
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Naga, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards...
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the Great Swordsmith Clan?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan. The last Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time...
The Kaidahara clan.
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all...
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a
Puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces,
No, Hyman just meant, how creepy.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book...
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't... Oh! How about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the...
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is... Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be...
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please...
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, okay, then even if we did know something about it, after all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. Ah! Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Quit following me. Behold! Too slow.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the Balladeer. Did he escape or... Ah!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surstan? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, it was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in— A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were
well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him...
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you...
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between... As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. But plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to... Wait a second. Farmer? You mean... I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And also, so as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not... Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends.
Yeah, obviously! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you... Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it... Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Ermin's... Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be— Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him! I understand. But sometimes, everything is— How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark. As Sumeru's deity,
It is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But if this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea.
I was gonna contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Then prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into...
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at...
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and...
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy!
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sap? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh! Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here, pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What are you smirking?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to...
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is good. So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out they're top...
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of...
Oh? How interesting. Those...
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
makes you think we're
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So,
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something... Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those sampling.
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has under your leadership. Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by my—
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have— You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now, even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to— And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading out. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last— But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been hard—
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly,
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death.
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into... It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really...
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a...
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But... this makes...
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me... the
Fatui? Who?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else.
If you give him my heart, tell him that he has nothing to prove to anyone. Because now...
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then I'll think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply... I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your pup... Mr. Niwa? Oh... Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating... I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him on...
Hey, are you...
Dottore. Good.
doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from But why did we see things from his...
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit...
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be...
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind...
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand, so now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, it was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the... After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow,
Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything?
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose...
Tottori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him!
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world...
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end...
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, did you get all that?
Yes. Astonished.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul.
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I shared a secret with you. And now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, so tell me, in this world, is it possible to change? Done.
Huh? What the? What?
Nothing. I was just thanking him for help. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer, those who died in Tatarasuna because of me, deserve another chance.
Hey, Balladeer!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on. Oh no.
Oh,
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just?
It was the Balladeer's fault.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his...
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here. Even though I'm not sure I can solve... We're running out of time. Follow my lead.
We're out! And we're at...
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this...
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think? He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Ooh, Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... but erasing yourself history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But, Paimon, so how about, we list all our favorite food? Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Andrean chili chicken! Oh! Also, Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme! What do we... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't... Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the balladeer. Is that... Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Off we go.
To Amanoma Smithy!
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time. But fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans, if my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he
Oh yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that they learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a
That, my friends, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only he told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrow. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a
vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee. But Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and in his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he, powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation, alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of... Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the... In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? On to the next stop! Lead the way, We're here!
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid you're
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato...
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there some... Of course, traveler. Yeah, what would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has... As for the commissioner himself, well, you know.
So pretty much business as usual.
Very much.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you. I must say, many things.
All right, goodbye for now. We're great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now.
Very well. Safe travels.
lucky day.
Shine down! Busted!
How amusing.
Barry. Finally,
That's far enough.
Let's get down to business.
Quietly now. There is no escape!
The wind rises. How amusing.
What's one? Cheap tricks.
Everybody stand back! Here comes the catch.
Fall before me.
Shine down! Inazuma shines eternal!
Behold! Upon the gale. Too slow. You want to use my hat as an umbrella? The audacity to... Wind rises. Relax. You want to use my hat as an umbrella? The audacity to even make that request.
Well, here we are.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is...
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific...
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here and some... If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. Oh, well, it's a long... I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the first...
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back up.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatar...
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for... Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, but sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a Of course!
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile, no matter what happens. Hey, don't mind. All right, let's head...
Quit following me.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. if you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh!
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just...
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some
Wow, so many new details.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the... Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society, though.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't...
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring...
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Quit following me.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly...
The balladeer? You look troubled. Is there... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
That's quite a... So, this puppet known as the balladeer erased himself from Ermin.
But how was he even...
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase them...
So, you believe this person really existed? And we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains... So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's...
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motive.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasu. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be... The story makes sense. Every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have...
Yeah, it does make sense, but it just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he...
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way. Changing the information in Irminsul changes, but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer and...
That's incredible!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information, but if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart... The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken... The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, how it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves when creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be all—
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of—
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conrial was where we still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like—
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then conquer the troubles. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us to— And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this—
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for—
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head— Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Too slow. Squall Fury!
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? All right, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. What is it? Have you figured? did you jump up all of it?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? The work's too boring for you? Or is...
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take up.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd...
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But you don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you need.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of...
Quit following me. Quit following me. Too slow. Yeah. This...
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit... Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them. Huh? You two over there. Is there something...
He spotted him.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely...
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that...
Huh?
You were right. The look...
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with... Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be... Okay, but please let me deliver these goods...
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any...
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart. In return...
That's oddly nice.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
Quit following me. Behold! Quit. Quit following me. Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right...
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. But look, it was pouring down and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world. Like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was rain. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a short... But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time...
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting. The wind rises. Too slow.
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do apologize.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you are trekking across to Wacth to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe them...
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your...
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot...
Okay, I have to ask. What? Oh, okay. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be, but I'll be able to handle it. Please.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered... You nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly... Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of your...
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and...
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but... Yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street. He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told...
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing—
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your,
Understood.
Thank you.
this looks like Ina's—
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memory. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that enemies may react just like it.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great—
Is that because this is kind of like—
You could say that, in a sense.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The crystal marrow? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. There's... You're awake. What happened? Not a scratch. And these fine...
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately—
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility— But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty—
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then
But you can't. You promised.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him.
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had...
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no... The voices have gone. It looks like the...
Let's keep going.
Too slow. You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Adventure teamwork is dreamwork!
Squall and Fury!
Let's light it up! Quietly now.
Torn to oblivion!
This isn't good.
Come at me!
Everybody stand! Game's up! Game's over. Gotcha!
Well, behold! Looks like I went too far.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the...
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered...
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being
What a sharp tongue you... Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about...
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash must make... Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest, and by then, see you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire, talking to... Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Inazuma shines eternal! The suns shine no longer.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is...
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible, in the event that a successful...
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to go... Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility...
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god.
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes.
In your eyes, are there any differences between...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the... Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you, and I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is you. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions? Insignificant pest! Squall and Fury! Behold! Feeble human! At my command, you shall fall! Squall and Fury! You're dead! You dare to gaze upon me? My endless cycle begins! The wind rises. Feeble human! Behold, insignificant pest! Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared.
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely... Wait! But it was you inside that thing, too! What have you...
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul.
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it. Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up...
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as... I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can... I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever to be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be...
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway...
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just... The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but...
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why the—
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got any... Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your—
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is—
Huh? But...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have... What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. All right. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
what he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, so we can finally go eat? Paimon is still—
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from—
You mean because everyone else in this—
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. The Dark Cloud. Then, one night, all these expressions— Life!
places. Quit following me.
Whew, it's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing. Wow, good! Huh? Look at that Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But...
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to...
Unfortunately, the fate of Teyvat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance. But for anyone else, when a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird,
who are you?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out? Anyway, that thing feels wrong just...
Too slow. Squall Fury. Quit following me.
down!
That's far enough! Surge forth!
Gotcha! Illusion shattered!
Everybody stand back!
Here comes the catch! Torn to oblivion!
Quit following me. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
adventure time! Teamwork is strength!
Booba, get them!
Rain outlines your
Unsightly insects!
The wind rises.
Know my sword! Rain outlines your fate! Everybody stand back! Witness the power of good work!
You're toast!
Behold! Search for it! Bow your head!
Too slow.
Let's light it up!
Booba, get them!
Know my sword! I am outplayed.
Eat this! Out of the frying pan!
Know your place!
Off we go! Let's light it up!
Booba, get them!
Squall and Fury!
Everybody stand back!
Nice and spicy! You're toast!
Behold!
Booba, get them!
I must leave no stone unturned.
We'll see about that. Have fun with this gift.
Keep moving!